Good evening, folks. Welcome to another edition of. Actually, this is not Curveball Convos. This is our NCAA reaction show. So tonight is going to be a fun show. It's going to be more of a conversation rather than going through bullet points, going through series. The floor is open for any of the boys to talk. We're going to talk about what we like, what we do not like, regionals we are looking forward to, and just all things college baseball. Also touch on some of the conference tournaments that happened this past week. That is a perfect influx of what happened today at 12 noon. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Kason Rameli. I'm with a full barn today, Braxton, Colby, and Reed. So whoever wants to speak first on the NCAA tournament, they can go.
Oh boy.
Kelvin?
Where do we start? Yeah, what a conference tournament week it was. You just look at teams like Upstate and Citadel, incredible runs to end of their season to make the NCAA tournament. My heart goes out to teams like High Point and Campbell, who had absolutely great regular seasons and everything like that. Came up a little short in the conference tournament. I'll get to my thoughts here in a little bit too on what the committee did today. But Colby, Braxton, if y'all want to say anything too about last week.
Yeah, another team that I feel bad for, Western Carolina. What a season they had. Obviously coming up short in the SoCon. But, great conference tournament week. Was entertaining all the way up to the end. And obviously with the selection show today, looking forward to talking about it, and regional baseball this weekend. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like that you brought up, the runs that Citadel and Upstate made first, because I think, that was really the highlight of the week for me. Obviously, we were hoping Campbell got it done too, but they just come up a little bit short. And, it is tough because, they don't have the best resume, but like they've beaten a lot of these teams in the regional field. So we know they're good enough to compete in this field of 64, but they do come up short. High Point comes up short. But nonetheless, we get 7 teams in the Carolinas in the field. It could have been a couple more, but overall, I think I'm pretty satisfied with that. I know we obviously expected, a team from the Carolinas to win the Big South, as well as we were hoping the SoCon. And I mean, Citadel was just a magical run. I mean, they went 5-0, and they really did it very convincingly too. Like, I think I need to put my hand up and just go ahead and. We didn't really believe in Citadel that as highly as we probably should have all season. And I mean, this team showed us and proved why, they played that really tough schedule, and it went on to help them quite a bit because, they played Mercer twice, who, we'll talk about, like, maybe possibly should have been in as well with their metrics, but like they took it to Mercer twice, and the other teams like Wofford and Stanford in the championship. And then obviously the play-in game, they barely even got out of that. So what a magical run that they had. But I mean, I'm fired up to see these regionals. I mean, Carolina ECU is we predicted it this morning. Kaysen, you were right from the beginning about how the baseball gods, we get a tie early in the season, and now we get to decide it here in regional play. I think, I didn't believe it necessarily at first, but I had a weird feeling this morning that they would be together. With the way it played out. So yeah, I'm just excited, dude. I mean, this is probably, I was telling my friend earlier, like, this is probably the best regional atmosphere that I'm going to see in a long time. With all of us going to be able to be in one spot at one time, it's going to be awesome. So I just can't wait for Friday to roll around.
Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal time for sure. We got some comments in the chat. Shout out James Mouse. Feel bad for the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. I don't know if that's a troll or not, but they did have a good season as well. And then Reed Tobin, Tobin the Terrorizer. Yes, he is the absolute terrorizer of many cities, but he is also about to be the terrorizer of the NCAA Selections Committee. So, Reed, I will let you have the floor to talk about that.
Yeah, so I'll just start. I thought the committee today, in many different spots, was wrong. I'll start off saying I did think, we've seen in the past having an AD on the committee has worked out in the favor for a lot of teams in the past. I didn't really think that was the case this year. I thought Southern Miss should have been a top 8. Them having their AD on the committee, I thought would have helped play over and just their metrics and everything like that. But I'm sitting here trying to figure out how Alabama is a top 8 seed. Yes, I know they're in the SEC. Yes, I know they went 16-14, but they were 1-out in Hoover last week. Didn't make a run. I thought they had no business being a top 8. And then Carolina is a different situation here too. Last year, Braxton, we saw it last year. They were number 1 in the country, and they had them as the number 5 overall seed behind 4 SEC teams, which I thought was a joke. And then this year, not winning the ACC tournament yesterday against Georgia Tech, I thought that would still firmly put them at 4. They're sitting at 4 in RPI right now, but for whatever reason, yes, Auburn had a great season. I know they played the hardest schedule in the country, but I mean, they went 17-18 in quad 1 games. I know they played a ton, but I mean, I think you need to have a winning record in that. I thought Auburn had no business being a top 4. And then just in terms of how loaded UNC's regional is, they had the highest of all the top 8 national seeds. They had the highest average RPI or lowest average RPI of any of the top 8 teams at 39. You look at Alabama's at 7, their average RPI, and there is 77. Auburn's is 82. The committee absolutely didn't Carolina no favors. I mean, VCU is arguably one of the toughest 4 seeds. You look at like West Virginia playing Binghamton, and then Nebraska playing 25-31 South Dakota State. So make it make sense a little bit. I think the committee did Carolina really badly. Certainly, Tennessee is one of the toughest 2 seeds. And then, ECU is ECU. They've been in a regional for 8 straight years, been in the regional final for 7 years in a row counting. So it was certainly some interesting decisions by the committee today. I thought some of the Big 12 teams were seated pretty low. Kansas and West Virginia, I thought they deserved to be a little higher. But I'll let you touch on Colby and Braxton. Let y'all have some of your thoughts too.
Yeah,
I'll go. The chair of the committee on the selection show brought up a lot of points, not just RPI, but he brought up KPI and DSR, which is still somewhat new. And when they're going over the bracket, looking at the bubble teams, it looks like DSR did play a big factor. And also, he mentioned conference strength of schedule, which I guess going to NC State, that helped them for that factor, considering State had the toughest conference schedule in the ACC this year. I still kind of puzzled how State wasn't in the last 4 in and had them comfortably in with the non-conference strength of schedule, and also sending them to Auburn for the 2nd straight year. Obviously grateful that they got in, because I felt it was 50-50 at best waking up this morning that they'll be in. But so thankful they're in, but also a little bit odd they're going to the same regional host for the 2nd straight year.
Yeah, I was shocked by that too, Colby. I expected State to get in, but I was certainly surprised that they were sent to Auburn again. Not that it really matters too much, but I think Avent really did time his retirement well. I think that did help a little bit, maybe push them up over the edge a little bit. Maybe that's why they weren't one of the last 4 in. I was hoping Pitt would get in, but I knew they probably wouldn't with their conference record. The bubble we talked about was really weak all year. I was surprised TCU, they didn't get in as well. They had a decent Big 12 year. But, going back to what Reed was talking about and the committee, like, I was shocked with how obviously, first of all, when the top 4 seeds come out, I was like, here we go again. Like, Carolina clearly should be a top 4 seed. I think they're wrong there. But in terms of just regional, like, that, it was so clearly like the toughest regional right out of the gate that we had seen all the way through the first top 8 seeds. Like you brought up the average RPI point, Reed, and I think, like, yes, that can be, that can be seen one of 2 ways, because it can kind of be fluctuated differently depending on, because obviously if you're an SEC team, you're not going to have any other SEC teams in your region. So, and even for ACC teams too, right? Like we can't have any other ACC teams in our region, but we get an SEC powerhouse like Tennessee, and then you get, like you said, a really good mid-major who has a really good RPI in ECU. And you get probably, like you said, arguably, I thought VCU would have been a 3 seed. I know they didn't have a great year, but they got hot late, and like you said, they're in regionals all the time. Like they're one of those bigger names that tends to play in June. I was really surprised that Carolina's region was this loaded, but again, it's really not about who you play. You're going to play good competition at this point in the year. Like you're going to have to win. Everyone wants an easy path to Omaha, but year in, year out, it changes. Like sometimes you're going to get lucky and get an easier path. Other times you won't. It is what it is. But the best 8 teams will be in Omaha. I mean, that's the best part about this format is it works so well in terms of getting the hottest team and the best teams in Omaha. And I always trust that it'll work itself out. Yes, you would like a better, draw, but what are you going to do? It's going to be awesome for all of us because we get to see, Carolina ECU go at it. Hopefully, right? There's a chance they don't play, but I'm excited for the opportunity. And then just speaking real quick as well on Upstate, I'm really happy with their draw, and I got to talk about them a little bit. Me and Reed talked earlier, like we knew this team was getting hot, and everyone counted them out of the Big South just because of the year that High Point had, and Winthrop was really good. And I'm just really proud of that group and Coach Sweeney as well. I mean, he's 2 for 2 on regionals in his 2 seasons at the helm of that program. So I think what he's been doing over there is really, really impressive. And don't count them out of that regional too. I mean, they got a really good draw. They play Oklahoma State and they're Alabama. They're going to Tuscaloosa, and that's a beatable team right there, in my opinion. I don't think they're as good as their seed says. So I'm really excited to watch them go at it this week too. But anyways, we can get into the ones. But
Sweeney to Columbia?
No. Unless he just like goes to a super and they just are like,
that'll be absolutely electric. But my initial reaction to this was just wow. I mean, I'm shocked that East Carolina is playing in Chapel Hill. Braxton alluded to it earlier. I said back in February, Braxton? So that was the second weekend, right?
Yeah.
I said that they will face. I said that on 9-4-3 the game on our show. I said they will face again, whether that's in a super regional, whether that's in a regional, and here we are. It's absolutely electric, and the fact that this is the most loaded regional I think I've seen in a few years, with VCU sitting there as they win the A10, and we had them projected as a 3 seed, and they are then the 4 seed and the number 5 overall national seed, which is just bizarre to me. But Reed, I have a question for you, because I think a big talking point is Mercer, and just how I just want you to explain to me how I listened to the guy say that their strength of schedule wasn't good, but then how are you 28 in RPI?
I've been trying to figure out RPI for years. I was talking to Braxton, and I think I texted y'all this too. This really feels like College of Charleston 2 years ago, when College of Charleston was like 44 and 14 or something like that, and was the first team left out. When I saw Auburn as the top number 4 overall seed, I was like, this does not bode well for Mercer and everything like that. I was like, just knowing from experience what the committee has did in the past and everything like that, I guarantee you they're going to put Kentucky in, and that's another talking point too. Kentucky has absolutely no business being in the field.
Hold on, let me find this tweet I read about Kentucky today. I did not.
They lost 8 out of their 10 SEC series.
I'm here. I'm reading this from Aaron Fitt, Morgantown, West Virginia. So Kentucky makes it into the field despite winning 2 of its 10 SEC series, dropping a series to Missouri and South Carolina, but swept Alabama and won a series versus Tennessee. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. I mean, that's just as asinine, that the fact that they are in the tournament.
It's ridiculous.
Holy shit.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You got to feel for Mercer. I mean, it's interesting. These smaller conferences, they're put in a tough spot. The teams, you look at the teams that dominate the regular season, but they have one slip up and get upset in their conference tournament the following week, then their season's most likely going to be done. You look at the Conference USA, all those teams were 3 seeds. I was trying to figure that out too. I'm not sure how Jacksonville State was a 3 seed. Missouri State too.
Liberty last 4 in, that was kind of
Liberty
surprising.
very surprising. Another touching point, I thought UTSA not even being in the first 4 out was a shock too. I thought, they should absolutely be in the field, but their strength of schedule came back to bite them. And then, but you look at Mercer too. They did win the series against Troy earlier in the year too. I know Troy's played a really tough schedule, but 32-29. I mean, what are we doing here? Come on.
I also want to touch on before we move on. Stay on UTSA here. I thought about it when the bracket came out as well. That ECU, when the American Conference bracket came out before the season, how the tournament works, how the championship is winner take all. UTSA beat ECU on Saturday, and then UTSA waits to await the winner of the losers bracket game, and then ECU wins that game. Do you guys think that ECU would have to beat them twice to win? Because do you think that format is the way to go? Because I think that if it was reversed and it happened to ECU fans, I know that we have a strong fan base for them. I think they'll be saying the same things that UTSA fans were saying, but I also saw it from the national media guys today saying how it's crazy that UTSA gets. I also think it's made more of a point now because they weren't in, but they went 1-1 versus ECU on the week, and they're not in also. So, just real quick on them, what is your guys' take on that? Because I think it should. I think if you're coming out, you then have to beat that team twice, in my opinion. If you're coming out losers bracket.
If it's double elimination, it really should be a true double elimination till the end.
I agree.
You can't just both teams went 1-1. I'm not discrediting ECU's championship at all, but I would have liked to see another game since they went 1-1 against each other in a 2-day stretch. It would have been nice to have another game, and maybe that's something that will be discussed in the offseason with the American, but we'll have to see.
And it's also wild that they were co-champions too in the regular season. So that just talk about just getting the short end of the stick here because of the way the conference is lined up. I was seeing that today, and I thought about it yesterday because I was like, Lord have mercy. If I'm a UTSA fan, I'm hot because you're not in either, which is very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. I think 100% it should be like you said, Colby. If it's double elimination format, the championship needs to be a double elimination, where every team needs to lose twice that didn't win. And like you said, Kason, you brought up a good point too. Like if ECU's in that position, there's people that are pissed right now, especially if ECU weren't to get in. But luckily, they did get the job done in a tight ball game. I was surprised UTSA did not make it in. I know their RPI was in like the 50s, but they were borderline 2 seed. They were a strong 2 seed most of the year. They dominated the American for the most part. Right? They were always in first. They were the 1 seed in the tournament, and they drop a 1-0 final after, like you said, that was their only loss of the tournament. So I think that was probably one of the more harsher teams that got left out. And then just kind of shifting gears here, I want to talk about some positives. I am very excited for both Nebraska and Kansas to be hosting this year. I think those are 2 awesome host sites that we've been wanting to see for some years now. And it kind of shifts that geographical sense too, to where yes, we get a couple West Coast regionals every year. But most of the regionals are always in the bottom right quadrant of the United States. Almost every year, probably over 75% of them are in the Southeast. So I think to get some of those central United States regionals, to have some teams host out there is really cool, I think. And those are 2 ruckus environments as well. Like Lincoln, you think about that fan base, they sell out their football season every year. They're going to be insane there in Lincoln. And then Kansas, I mean, that's an awesome, awesome program that's been on the rise. They've kind of, hit the JUCO ranks really hard. And I think they've kind of always planned for it to be a regional host site here. It was kind of their end goal, I think. And now here we are, and they're hosting. And I'm just really excited about I just wanted to get some positivity because, it's not all bad, right? Like we get some good, some hosts that we've never seen really before and things like that. So, what do y'all think about that, Nebraska and Kansas?
I love it. Braxton, I think you hit the nail right on the head of like, I think it's good to have this. And I mean, like, I know we beat the SEC, hate the SEC dead horse, but I mean, it's good not to see Vanderbilt up there. It's good not to see Ellis. It's good not to see LSU. I mean, SEC fans, if you're watching, call me a hater. I was born and raised in North Carolina. Just don't like the SEC, but like Braxton said, it's good. It's good to see those teams. I love it. But we'll get into this later as I'm looking at these TV schedules though for them these games. I mean, I understand there's so many games, but there's a lot of ESPN Plus on here for some of these games that you kind of want, like the Citadel playing Oklahoma, ESPN Plus. I kind of want that. I kind of want Citadel to have their brand out there. ECU, Tennessee on ESPNU though, but I'm trying to find one second, Braxton. Kansas is first
in the TV schedule.
It's on if I sent it in our group chat, it's the PDF of all the teams. It has the designation for TV under the time. Nebraska and Kansas game 1 both on ESPN Plus, which is frustrating, but
Upstate's on ESPN Plus too as well.
Correct, yeah. So in Braxton, I love it, but it's frustrating when Arkansas, Missouri State on ESPN Plus. The Omaha is going to be real pissed about that one.
That's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah, that's
they've rematched 2 of earlier this season. Both those games have been outstanding. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Speaking of Arkansas, it's now back-to-back years with Arkansas and Kansas. They're on the same regional. Kansas went to Arkansas last year when Arkansas was hosting, and now Kansas is hosting, and Arkansas is sending them up there. So another kind of like State-Auburn situation. I know State is going on to Auburn twice, but that's back-to-back years that Kansas and Arkansas are in the same regional.
I thought Arkansas should have hosted too, the way they ended the season too. And then getting to the conference tournament final in Hoover last week, I certainly thought they would get the nod, and we find out last night they don't. But, I think they might have been more deserving of a team like Mississippi State. You look at how they finished the season, losing 4 out of their last 5 series, I believe. But, I mean, Arkansas – and that's a brutal draw for Kansas. But, I mean, like you said, Braxton, it's awesome they're hosting, but that is a brutal draw too.
I think that's a really good draw. Now looking at it again is freaking Texas. And I know they're a top 8.
Yeah.
That is UC Santa Barbara is there 2. Tarleton is there 3. And Holy Cross losing record as their 4. Like there's not a single Power 4 in there. I'd argue probably a lower tier 2 seed in UC Santa Barbara and a lower tier 3 seed in Tarleton State.
Yeah.
So
no. The only way I could see that, being tough for Texas is if Santa Barbara saves Jackson 4 for Saturday, which they're probably not going to do. I mean,
they got to be Tarleton.
They got to be, and Tarleton's offense is really good. But, I mean, that would be an interesting – we'll see what Santa Barbara does.
If Texas can't get out of that regional, then that's laughable because –
yeah.
I mean, that's about as good a draw you can get as the 6th seed?
6th seed, yeah.
I was a bit surprised with Virginia Tech getting a 2. Were you guys?
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
UCLA.
Yeah. The Conference USA too, all teams being 3 seeds, it's just puzzling to me. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah. Just Jacksonville State, 46-13. We've seen them take down some big SEC hitters in the midweek too and everything like that. And being a 3 seed is just shocking to me.
Who was that?
Jacksonville State.
Yeah, they should have been a 2. They won the Conference USA convincingly too.
Yeah.
We said earlier in one of these shows, like we thought the Conference USA winner would be a 2. I mean, it was that strong of a league. Whether that would be Missouri State, Liberty, or Jacksonville State, whoever finished the season strong enough. It's good to see all three of them in the field. At least none of them got snubbed because I think all three of them had deserving years to get in. But I was surprised that they didn't get it too. But yeah, the Pac-12 regional, Oregon, Washington State, Oregon State, and then Yale is thrown in there as well. That will be a fun one. Probably some late night games, I would imagine. Maybe not though.
Well, y'all want to touch on Coastal? I don't think we've touched on them yet.
Coastal got a good draw, in my opinion, Reed.
Absolutely would agree. Playing Northern Illinois as the 3 seed, no disrespect to them, but I mean,
did Northern Illinois play them in their month there?
Yeah, they played earlier. They played earlier in the season,
and St. John's too. St. John's played Coastal this year, I believe, right?
They played Charlotte. I know they played Charlotte.
Yeah, that's what
it might be.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Coastal potentially having Fluky, available for Florida State in that Saturday 1-0 game is definitely something to monitor. I know Coastal's been struggling here the past few weeks, but none of that matters now. You got to play your best ball this weekend if you want your season to be alive. And then, getting to play one of the weaker 3s, in my opinion, is a huge bonus for Coastal.
I like Wake's draw too. I know West Virginia has been very good, obviously losing to Kansas in the title game this weekend, but I like them against Kentucky. Like we've talked about Kentucky earlier. We know how we feel. I like them to get that done, and I think they have a good shot against West Virginia. I think that's definitely a regional that Wake can come out of.
Yeah, I don't mind that. West Virginia is a team that's been to 2 straight super regionals, so they've been really hot in regionals as of late, and now they get to host one themselves, which is cool. But I agree with you, Colby. I think Wake does have an outside shot, not even an outside shot, a good shot at getting out of that regional if they play their best baseball. Going one and done in the ACC tournament might have actually been the best thing for them. Just kind of take a week, get healthier. I'd have no idea what their pitching staff's going to look like next week. That's kind of been the one question mark for me with them. We know their offense is going to come swing it. I mean, Wentz, Costello, the Costellos, Cade Lewis, Schaff, like they've got the bats to win that regional. It's just, can they find the innings out of, I don't care who it is. Like someone's got to step up on the mound for them to win that regional, but I don't mind that. That was the 16 seed. I was surprised West Virginia was the 16 seed a little bit, but that's going to be a fun regional to watch for sure.
Normally there's 6 things. I saw stats like 5 or 6, 5.5 is the line for 1 seeds not to make it out. Off first glance, who is let's each of us go around the horn. Who's a 1 seed you do not see making it out of their own regional? Whoever has one can go first. Like, is there one that jumps off the page?
Let me see.
I'll start. Yeah, I mean, I think Kansas is in big trouble.
I think Southern Miss has a very tough draw. There's 2 teams I could see coming out of that with Virginia and Jacksonville State.
I think Alabama
and Little Rock. I mean, Little Rock was good. They showed last year they can compete. So I think Southern Miss is one team to throw in that category.
Yeah.
I think Alabama too goes out this weekend. I really like Oklahoma State, the way they've been playing offensively too, 3rd in the country in homers too. And the way that they ended the season, I think they get out of Tuscaloosa.
Do you guys think Liberty can push Georgia?
No.
I haven't done my research on Georgia, but I feel like they just don't get out of there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you look at their history and everything over the past few years too. Duke going down there a few years ago, getting out of the regional too. Was it last year? Oklahoma.
That was last year.
Was it last year? And then
State won the super regional.
State in the supers. And then I know 2 years ago or 3 years ago too, Georgia got upset too.
23 and 23. They didn't even make the NCAA tournament.
They weren't good that year because I remember we played them that year and they weren't that good.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, just something about this Georgia team seems different too. Led by
I agree.
Led by Daniel Jackson, Triple Crown winner in the SEC. I mean, Georgia's one of the hits the most home runs in the country. I would be shocked if this Georgia team didn't get to them all.
They were eliminated by Oklahoma State last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Duke beat Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hear what y'all were saying about this and Daniel Jackson. I hear it all. But, like, I'm just saying, I mean, just the way baseball is, ebbs and flows, I mean, they're higher than high right now. And I just think that, like, maybe that can sometimes maybe be the kiss of death or maybe success. But, I mean, to their credit, they do have Long Island, BC, and
Yeah, I was going to say, are those the teams to do it, though? I agree with you, Kason, but I just like BC's a week or two. Liberty, maybe. I mean, and then LIU. I just don't know if there's enough firepower down there to do it. Like I said, going back to Southern Miss, like I think that regional is way more loaded with teams that I can see getting out of it. But I would love to see Georgia get upset.
How far can Bradley Zack take the Flames, Reed? He will probably face them if they beat BC.
He's had a great year.
Guy, so he's had
a great year.
Colby, yours was Kansas.
Yeah, I think Arkansas is going to end up winning that regional.
Yeah, I agree.
I would agree on that.
I saw a lot of smoke about Missouri State being kind of where we think they were going to be seated. We had them at the 2 seed in Atlanta. Just what's y'all's thoughts on them being where they are, and just kind of were y'all high on them, not high on them?
I wasn't that high on them personally. I think, like I said, whoever won the Conference USA, I would have had as a 2, and we did have Missouri State as a 2 as well, but kind of a weaker 2. That's why we threw them in Atlanta. I think that would have been a really good draw for Georgia Tech to get as a 2. But, I really like the fact that they get to play Arkansas, a team they've already beat this year. So I think, for them, that's a really good confidence boost that you're coming up against a team that you've already proven you can beat this year. So, like you said, I think Kansas is going to struggle a little bit to get out of that. They need to really show out, as fans for that regional, because it's going to be filled with hogs as well. So that will be an interesting to monitor, but I'm not that high on Missouri State. I am a little surprised that they were a 3 though, but also not really because they didn't win their conference. So I think Jacksonville State deserved more of a 2 shout than Missouri State.
I don't think we've touched on this, but Miami going to Gainesville, that's pretty cool. Going to be pretty electric. Miami played pretty well in Charlotte last week. Obviously didn't get it done, but I was pretty impressed with them. I've been impressed with them all year. I think they can definitely make some noise in Gainesville. I know Florida's been really hot, and I expect them to win that regional, but watch out for Miami for sure.
Yeah,
I think Oregon State and Oregon's regional too. I think that's going to be awesome too. And then you got Washington State. So a little Pac-12 reunion there too. You look at Oregon State, they lose Jack Switney out for the season, but they've spent most of the time in the season in the top 10 in the country. But not being in a conference really hurt them here for not being able to host too. They did everything they can in the non-conference strength of schedule wise, but it's tough to put together a really tough schedule, at this point of the season or the last 2 months of the season when teams are playing in conferences and everything like that. But I mean, I was a little shocked Oregon was the number 11 overall seed too, to begin with.
Yeah, that was way too high.
Yeah, I mean,
speaking of that one's crazy, but hey, the Pac-12 conference still lives.
Yes, it's the Pac-12 regional. Do y'all think UCLA cakewalks?
Yeah,
I do.
I was shocked Virginia Tech was a 2 seed.
Yeah. Talk about, I mean, you know who I feel bad for? That Virginia Tech director of operations. My God, holy shit! I would have been pissed.
Hey, I mean, you're the strength while you're in at that point. But
holy shit! Oh my gosh, trying to think. Regional we haven't touched on. Have we touched on A&M's regional at all?
No.
Lamar, Texas
USC's the two.
Yeah, it's a very tough regional.
It's a tough one.
Much
You look
tough-
at
Go ahead, Tobin.
look at USC's pitching too. I mean, they're top 10 RPI team all year long. Mason Stewart and everything. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the country. And then you look at Texas State too. And they've shown they can win games in the NCAA tournament too before. And then I would argue Lamar is arguably one of the better 4 seeds too. So yeah, I was a little surprised A&M fell all the way down to 12 too. So yeah, I mean that's paired up with the Chapel Hill regional.
I was going to mention.
So yeah, I think College Station is definitely one of the more loaded regionals. I mean, whoever gets to Omaha out of this little pod section, I mean, will have earned it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we touched on Starkville either. Obviously, Mississippi State, the 1, Cincy, the 2, Louisiana, a 3. I like Louisiana make some noise this regional, and Lipscomb, the 4. Probably a regional I expect Mississippi State to come out of. But I do like the way Louisiana's been playing recently. Obviously, the last couple weeks of the season into the tournament in the Sun Belt. So keeping an eye out on them for sure.
They're on fire right now. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm conflicted on that one because I agree. Like Louisiana has been a team I've been watching a lot recently, and I've fallen in love with them. Like they're really good. They've just absolutely owned Coastal. I was kind of upset when they got put into Mississippi State because Mississippi State's a team I've been really high on all year. I've had them in my Omaha 8. They've been kind of up and down a lot this season. And I really want to put them to advance, but then you throw Louisiana in there. So now I'm kind of like conflicted on who to pick, but will be a fun matchup because you also have the 2 seed in there. Who is it again? Who's the 2?
Cincy,
yeah. Okay, yeah. And then Lipscomb, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good draw for Mississippi State, actually. Cincy's not a top-notch too, but they're a solid program. And then Louisiana's been hot, but I think that's overall a good draw for Mississippi State. So we'll see what happens. But who's that paired with? I don't even remember.
Georgia, I believe.
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia.
Okay. What do you think about State's draw, Colby?
I think UCF's probably one of the weaker 2s. I actually think if they pitch who I want them to pitch, probably either Consiglia or Andrews, I think they would have a chance in that first game. Overall, I think it's a pretty easy regional for Auburn. Definitely expect Auburn to make it out. I think Auburn. Well, I think I saw the average RPI, obviously with the 4 mixed in, and State's RPI is not that good. Was one of the lowest of all the regional. I think it was in the 80s. So I think this is a regional that Auburn has a chance to just quickly go 3-0 and move on to the Super. But we'll see. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I would agree. How about the Fun Belt getting 5 teams in too?
Dude,
good for them.
Texas State and Troy surprised me. I'm not gonna lie.
Crazy, bro. What's
Texas
Troy's
State,
overall record?
32-29.
32-29.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's something. What did they do in the Keith LeClaire Classic? Did they go 1-2 in that?
They lost to ECU. I believe they lost to Rutgers too.
Or Western. One of them. I mean, goodness gracious.
I think they lost to Western, and then they beat Rutgers. If I remember.
I know that overall record isn't good for Troy, but combined quad 1, quad 2, they're 12-15. I think that's pretty dang good for a Sun Belt team that was on the bubble. So I know the overall record doesn't look good, but 12-15, quad 1, quad 2 is hard to deny. I think that's a really good team, and to me, I think they deserved it, even with only being 3 games over 500. I know the bubble was tricky this year, and there's some teams feeling bad that's left out, but I like Troy. I think they can win some games.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
What else you boys want to touch on? There's a whole lot we could still touch on here. I mean,
have y'all looked at like any of the the odds? Have they done regional odds or anything like that? I haven't.
I opened DraftKings up right. I'll open up DraftKings.
Yeah, I took a quick peek about an hour ago. The odds were up for all the regionals.
Yeah, I want to look at that. Because I have not. We're gonna get a live reaction to that right now because I have not even. I mean, first of all, to make College World Series, UCLA and Georgia Tech minus 300. So that's fun. Regional winner. Here we go. All right, Citadel plus 1,200. That's a fun one. North Carolina minus 200 to get out of there. I mean, there's not much value in that. East Carolina plus 600.
Wake Forest plus 180.
Is that your bet, Kobe?
Maybe. Definitely enticing. I want to pick Wake Forest, so probably.
We lost Reed.
NC State plus 475. Auburn's minus 265.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think that's a regional. Auburn should roll in, honestly. Pretty weak.
Arkansas is the favorite. Lawrence.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Liberty has a high. Liberty is more favored than BC as well in that one.
Nebraska's plus 110. So
Mississippi State and Georgia are both heavy favorites.
USC upstate plus 800.
Yeah. Who plus 800?
Upstate.
Lafayette plus 800 in that Mississippi in that Stark Regional. That's juicy right there.
They're hot.
Boston College plus 700.
Yeah, I mean UCLA is minus 900 to get out of theirs.
Well, that's a shoot win. I mean, to make it to the College World Series, UCLA is minus 3. To make it to the College World Series, they're minus 3. They're minus 300. So is Georgia Tech, UNC. So there are 5 teams with minus odds: UCLA, Georgia Tech, Texas, Auburn, and Georgia. Yeah. North Carolina and Florida both sitting at 110 plus 110 right now. Oh my gosh.
Coastal plus 210 is a number I like to get out of that.
I agree. That one is not bad at all. Reed Tobin says his internet went out. Don't worry. Also, the Canes are at 1-0, Braxton.
Yeah, I'm watching it here.
Fellas, this is the best time of the year. This is the best time of the year indeed. Colby, just kind of what was going through your head when you saw that NC State was in? Just were you just like, good job, Elliot, on the timing?
Yeah, I joked about it in our group chat right after they lost to Duke, or maybe a day after, and said Avent should announce his retirement right now to try to get a pity at large from the committee. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe not. Like I said, it's pretty shocking they weren't the last 4 in. But yeah, just excited. Obviously, Coach Avent has had a great career, 3 Omaha trips, 30 years. So I'm glad he gets to go out with one last regional trip. He was in his 30 years. Obviously, 2020 didn't have a postseason. So out of 29 years to make the postseason, he made it 23 times in the NCAA tournament. So really well done, really great career, and I'm glad he gets to go out with another regional appearance.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Braxton, what was your initial reaction to UNC's regional? Like, what was your raw reaction to
okay, well, I was expecting East Carolina, so I was
for real. Was this before
today? This morning.
Before or after the 4 seed, the top 4?
Oh, as soon as I saw, I mean, look, so I woke up this morning and I just had a feeling that ECU was going to be in Carolinas. So that's why we went with them in the projection this morning as the 3. Then I saw VCU, which I thought was a tough 4. So then, I was really just banking on ECU being the 3, no matter who was the 4 or whatever. So yeah, I wasn't shocked at that, but I was shocked when I saw Tennessee. But at that point, I was like, it's already a loaded regional with VCU, ECU. Like, my initial reaction was like, this is not really deserving of a top 5 team that like this getting this draw. But It is what it is. Like I'm not one like Tobin that is going to be up here and say the team should get a better draw. Like you play who you play. I think if, at the end of the day, it's going to work itself out. You're going to need to beat good teams this time of year. Like you're gonna there's only such a good draw you can get. Like we can sit here and talk about draws all we want, but in reality, we've seen this too many times where like anything can freaking happen, dude. Like any team can get hot. It's never a cakewalk. I don't care who it is. Like sometimes it's gonna appear as such, but every team in this field is a good freaking baseball team and can beat anyone on any given day. And that's why we have upsets. That's why we have stories like Oral Roberts and stories like Murray State and these types of things, because it's just it's the beauty of baseball and college baseball in especially. So I'm not that worried. Yes, I was shocked that it was a tougher regional, but at the end of the day, I'm more excited than I am shocked. Like I'm really excited that I get to go and watch UNC play Tennessee, UNC play ECU, whatever it is. Like that excites me.
Absolutely, Tobin. You look crystal clear, sir. I mean, you look like you're in 4K.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, on my phone now. Laptop just froze.
You are perfectly fine, brother. We were just talking about our initial reactions to the regionals, and I got a text from Steven Igo because he knows somebody who knows somebody, and he said that it is drivable. And then when the Atlanta one went, ECU, no ECU. When Athens went, I said no ECU. I said, huh.
I knew it was Chapel Hill right after they didn't get sent to any of the Georgia schools. I was like, yeah, well, here it comes.
I'm personally ecstatic by it. I live in Mebane, North Carolina. I'm 23 minutes from the Bosch, so I am absolutely ecstatic. I could not be happier. And after this show, if you're listening, if you're watching, I'm going to go clip hunting, and I'm going to clip where I said they will play in a regional or super regional.
We need to get that clip out tonight
because the baseball gods. I knew it was going to happen. Tobin, who are you cheering for in this regional?
The question everyone wants to know. It's a tough spot that I'm in.
Why is it a tough spot, Tobin?
Just here to see some good baseball.
Okay. Tobin, you've been PR trained. I respect it. From an ECU one, I'll stay on this one for a little bit. I was talking with Steven, and I think I was talking to forget who else I was talking to, but I was hoping for ECU to go to Florida's regional and also Coastal being there, so it could be Florida, ECU, Coastal again, be the same regional as last year. Kevin O'Sullivan, all that shenanigans would be pretty cool. And also on Coastal, Kevin Schnall tweeted that 4 of the teams that were in Omaha last year did not even make the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, it's a credit to these teams that make it year in and year out, not just the Omaha, but to the NCAA tournament, because it is so hard. And as we know, I mean, do you guys want to say LSU has the most expensive roster? I mean, you would definitely say it's in the top, if not the most. And guess what? They're not in the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, just in this day and age, you just never really know. And Colby wanted to bring you into this. Is Jay Johnson going to go the Will Wade route and go to the minor leagues and try to bring some guys back to college baseball?
Take some players off the Dodgers AAA roster or anything? I don't know, maybe. He went the whole Will Wade strategy too. The LSU coaches love throwing their players under the bus. Oh, this will never happen again. I won't recruit players like this. It's pretty pathetic to throw your players under the bus like that. So
Jay Johnson said that after the year.
He said that during the last week of the regular season, like a season like this will never happen again.
Yeah, he did say that.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't blame him, but I mean, I bet you there's some LSU people with some right big checks that are down his throat talking about not ever do this again. So I mean, but
look at the season Braden Simpson had for them. I mean, I bet he's regretting transferring.
Is he?
I mean, I think he batted .250, wasn't even a full-time starter and everything like that. 1 home run, and then you look at the year he had at High Point last year.
That bank account probably don't lie though.
Yeah. Yeah, and that Ford F-150 sitting in the driveway.
Yeah.
This is like he's still going to get a chance in pro ball too. Like that season he had a high point. I know he went to the SEC and struggled, but like he's too good of a hitter to not get a chance. Like even if it's not a draft, he's going to get signed somewhere and get a shot.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's probably got a paycheck. He's probably pretty happy. So
speaking of that, when does the portal? When does this shit start shaking out?
It's already open. People have already hit the.
I've seen some tweets of people going in the portal. So that'll be something we'll have to follow and monitor throughout the off season. Just because that's where it all starts, right? When teams have to rebuild these rosters. I know we'll probably get into some season review stuff, maybe after regionals or whatever. But there's always it's an ongoing process, it's an ongoing cycle. Teams are already looking into next year. You remember the famous quote, or not famous quote, but I remember hearing Nick Saban talk about it, how he's playing in the national championship and then he feels like he's behind on recruiting already. And it's like, dude, you're in a national championship, but it's an ongoing cycle, right? Like you think of like NCAA dynasty mode, like you're always freaking recruiting, man. Like that's life in the college sports realm. So that is always fun to keep up with, and it's getting bigger in baseball too. Like recruiting has never really been a big thing in baseball. We've seen it elevate with the transfer portal the last few years, and now it's just going to continue to get bigger because it's going to be shown on a bigger stage year in and year out, like we're seeing. So more fans are watching, more people are getting involved, more money, more paychecks to these players, things like that. So it's just going to continue to get bigger with the roster development.
Absolutely. Anyone? Tobin, you got anything else, sir?
No, we'll give our picks more on the next show and everything like that. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything tonight, so.
Go ahead, Braxton.
Yeah, so obviously we have this show tonight. This is kind of just initial reaction. Obviously we, kind of set our thoughts on some of the regionals, but we're going to go in depth more, I think, this year with the Carolina teams. So we're going to kind of, and we haven't told Reed and Colby about this yet, but we're going to do a little video for each of those teams on how they can kind of like what their path to victory is, or some key players, basically key factors for them to win their regional, because we want to put an emphasis on our Carolina teams. So there's 7 of them this year. So those will be looking for those to come out in the next couple of days before the regional play starts. And then we'll have a show as well where we'll be making picks. I believe all 6 of us will be making picks, but I don't think you can't count on all 6 of us being on the show. It'll probably just be us 4. We might try to get a guest or 2 as well to help make some picks. But the picks are always fun to make this time of year just because, it's as easy as it seems. It's so hard too. Like, you just never know who's going to win these regionals, but you like to think that you have an idea, and we love to make the picks. So that is what's coming. We'll probably have like I said, we'll have one more live show where we'll do the picks. We will have videos on each team, kind of their path to – those will probably be like 10, 15-minute videos, what we're thinking. Just kind of going in depth with each team's regional. We can go in depth to their regional, their opponents in those videos, and then just what players to look out for on those teams, how they can kind of, hopefully we see all as many as we can, right? Win their regional. That'd be awesome. But that be on the lookout for those videos as well in this week as we move to Friday.
Yeah, I sure do love the pick'ems, and the people love our pick'ems too, because I was just looking at our pick'em on Carolina Curveball's Instagram for our conference picks. We had 108 shares on that one, so people were definitely like, look at these clowns, look at these idiots. So exactly, clowns, whatever you want to call them. Want to tally those up soon to see who won that as well. But
yeah, we do need to do that.
Fellas, I think that'll do it. I mean, we're going to have a whole bunch of content coming out this week in depth of regionals that Carolina teams are in, their past, as well as a pick'em show, and just be on the lookout for our content for sure. Going to have some stuff coming out each day, and we're just inching closer and closer to NCAA regional time, fellas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lost Tobin again. It looks like.
We lost Tobin again. It's all right. But Braxton, thanks for coming on. Colby, thanks for coming on. It was a fantastic show. Cannot believe that the season is coming to an end. NCAA regionals are here. Folks, that will do it. Be sure to follow us at Carolina Curve BB on all our social media platforms, and we will see you soon.